I think one of the reasons is we're dealing with different personalities, right? I mean, it's like parents' personalities, your kids' personalities. Some kids are born with certain type of intellect, and then you don't have to be able to direct them or guide them. Like in कुछ cases में, you have to be able to give them some kind of a rules, regulation, discipline to certain kids. Otherwise, they will completely go astray. Like the example basically is when the kid is little, right? You have to be able to, some kids you tell them once, don't do this. The kid would listen. The others, you don't have to hold their hand, make them sit down and say, don't move from here for 5 minutes. The same thing goes for studies. I think we were talking about the efforts. One of the effort, how I judge it for my kids is how long he's sitting to study. It's just like at least he's sitting there. Doesn't matter what the result's gonna come. If I see him sitting for hour, 2 hours or whatever, is needed, at least you put the effort in. But if he's not even sitting, he says, I know everything. That's a common issue. You ask him, maybe, are you good? He's like, I'm good. I'm just like perfect. And then he comes out with this excuse, the teacher, the exam, this and that, hain. And you can just go. And these kids, over here are very good in coming up with it.
The point is, do you believe in the process or not, right? If you believe that learning is there, I think eventually it will yield. That's what he's trying to say. But what you're saying is short-term vision in terms of measuring and effort and whatnot. If you have laid down as a foundation, if you believe in your heart, giving exposure to an X amount of things will yield better results. It might be today, it might be. You have to have that internal core belief. That's the point.
The point that I'm trying to be able to make it as a parent, right? You know your kids better than somebody who's coming in 5, 10, or somebody's giving out lectures, a very generalized statement. Not everything gets applied to every single kid as a parent. I think overall, you all want your kid to succeed. You all want your kid to learn. But the actual things that you're going to apply depends on from child to child. And you start from somewhere, right? And then you feel he goes into the next step and really learn. But how do we basically, I guess, apply that one thing into your household when your two kids are completely different?
Yeah, I would, coming to what you just said, I think it's a remarkable thing, and I think a great recognition and realization that every child is different. That is precisely my point. Every child is different. Some of us have more linguistic intelligence. Some of us have more logical intelligence. Some have interpersonal. Look, I just said that these C graders generally have higher interpersonal and intrapersonal intelligence. Why do they get a C grade? Because linguistic intelligence and logical intelligence are those which are highly ranked in our educational system, whereas everyone is not equal in that. Secondly, we have our own unique interests. Think about your child. I totally agree that not just at your place, but everywhere. Most of the children, because we are not talking about those who are doing very good in these systems. Most of the children don't feel truly engaged with what they're doing, right? Why don't they feel engaged? Do they feel engaged in something else? Is there anything that they feel engaged? Like you just said that I would like to see my child sitting there and doing something. So have you ever seen your child sitting and doing something, anything else? That is what is engaging him. Right, that is what is engaging him. Right? And whatever is engaging the child at that age, we're talking about children. If you put me in a position which does not engage me, it'll be very difficult for me to, sort of keep focusing on that. I'm like 62 years old, and we're talking about people who are 6 years old. So it's very, very difficult to make them sit and focus on something which does not engage them. This is the point. And I'm not talking purely theoretically. There are certain schools now. Many schools call themselves progressive education, but there were some schools. If you would like to read about them, there's a very, very enlightening book known as Real Education by David Gribble. It's a very beautiful book, and all it has done is to sort of compile a list of truly progressive schools and told you that these are the schools which develop those qualities in children which would really help them in their lives. Take a look at your own education. What did you learn in the first 12 to 13 years of your life? 12 to 13 years is a long time, of your life, which you apply every day. Just think about it. And we are talking about those schools which actually the whole curriculum is based on the fact that this is going to benefit the child. میں اپنے ٹیچر سے جب پوچھتا ہوں آنیسٹلی، یہ میرے ساتھ ایک تجربہ ہوا which was I was not surprised, I was taken aback seriously when that person raised his hand and he said that I have used it. میں نے ان سے پوچھا کہ آپ میں سے کتنے لوگوں نے، ان کو میرے سوال نہیں سمجھ میں آیا. میں نے کہا چلے ہم لیٹ می بی اسپیسیفک، انگریزی اردو پڑھنے لکھنے اور بیسک ارتھمیٹک، ناٹ میتھمیٹکس، بیسک ارتھمیٹک کو چھوڑ دیں. آپ مجھے یہ بتائیں کہ کوئی چیز زندگی میں یوز کی ہے واقعی زندگی کے کچھ فیصلے کرنے میں، I would like. تو اچھا خاموشی تھی بالکل کلاس میں، ان کو شاید ابھی بھی سمجھ میں نہیں آیا کہ میں کیا کہہ رہا ہوں. تو پھر میں نے پوچھا کہ مثلاً لاگریدمس کو یوز کیا آپ نے؟ ٹھیک ہے، اینڈ اٹ واز ٹوٹلی زیرو. نہیں کبھی نہیں کیا. اچھا میں نے کہ ٹریگنومیٹری یوز کی ہے کبھی؟ اچھا یہ چلتا جا رہا ہے. یہ تقریباً میں نے 6,000 سے 7,000 ٹیچر سے پوچھا ہے جی، اینڈ ایوری بڈی سیڈ کہ نہیں کی. ایک ٹیچر نے ہاتھ اٹھا دیا، میں نے یوز کیا. تو میں نے کہا ریئلی، آئی مین یو آر دا فرسٹ پرسن، آئی ایم سو گلیڈ دیٹ یو ڈیڈ. کیا کس لیے یوز کیا؟ کہتے پڑھاتا ہوں میں.
آئی تھنک اسکولنگ کے جو 12-13 سال ہیں اس میں آپ سوشل انگیجمنٹ سے
یہ ہے پرابلم. اچھا اور وہ بغیر کریکولم ہوتا، ان کا کریکولم نہیں ہوتا. یہ ہے جو ٹریجڈی ہے. یعنی اصل میں جو چیز سیکھ رہے ہیں ہم اور واقعی زندگی بھر کے لیے اس پر اثر ڈال دیتی ہے، اگر وہ کریکولم بنائیں گے تو پازیٹیو ہوگی. مثال کے طور پر ہم لیٹس ٹرائی ٹو ڈیولپ ایمپتھی، سوشل ہے نا، سوشل انگیجمنٹ کرنی ہے. ہم اگر ایمپتھی سکھائیں گے تو اس کے نتیجے میں زندگیوں میں فرق پڑے گا. ٹھیک ہے جی. لیکن مثال کے طور پر آپ انگریزی اس طرح پڑھاتے ہیں کہ انگریزی پڑھنا ایک کام بن جائے. یعنی وہی بچہ انگریزی میں جا کے ویب سائٹس، موویز، ڈاکیومنٹریز دیکھتا ہے، وہ انگیجڈ فیل کرتا ہے، اس سے سیکھ رہا ہوتا ہے، لیکن وہ ایجوکیشن نہیں ہے. یعنی وہ گریڈ نہیں دے گی. پرابلم یہ کہ لرننگ کو اصل میں جیسے ہی میں اس چیز کو مطلب یوں سمجھ لیں کہ زندگی میں ایک ہے لرننگ، وہ جو مارک ٹوین نے شاید کہا تھا نا کہ آئی نیور لیٹ مائی اسکولنگ کم ان دا وے آف مائی لرننگ. تو یہ ایک فیکٹ بن جاتا ہے پھر.